Hey, welcome to another Businessology lesson. And today we're going to be talking about why it's so weird right now to be a leader. I think it's because the world is weird. The world feels really weird right now. After the pandemic, we're all just trying to get settled back into what we believe. I think a lot of us are struggling with what do we believe about work? What do we believe about employment? What do we believe about going to work, going to an office, coming out of the office? These things, a lot of different people and a lot of different cultures and generations are trying to figure out what all of that means. So leadership is here trying to direct and lead companies through all of that confusion. And it's not easy because the leaders also don't know. The leaders are struggling with exactly the same thing as their team. So I love this. There's a March 25th, 2023 article from Ed Batista on leadership. And I really align with a lot of the things he said about leadership. And here's some things he said. He said, I believe three things are true about leadership. We're entering an era of heightened uncertainty and instability. That's number one. Number two, leadership roles will be increasingly stressful as a result, which is true. Number three, this existence is finite and we are mortal creatures. So Ed Batista is a kind of a deep existential coach. So that number three, we won't touch on as much, but let me just mention that. This existence is finite and we're mortal creatures. So he's basically saying, give yourself a break. We all struggle as people, and so a lot of people are struggling. But the other two are about how to be a leader of a company when other people are struggling as well. And it's very difficult because the leaders are also struggling. So how does a leader struggle while at the same time lead a team that is struggling? Now, so we're not talking specific right now, right? Because you might be in a company or you might be listening to this lesson and you're leading and you go, well, my team seems fine. Well, but when you get down to the specifics, some team are struggling, some are doing better than others. And I think, this third point that we need to recognize is that it's okay to struggle. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you're struggling, you don't need to, freak out about it. Everybody's struggling. This is just a very difficult time. But the call to a leader is to bring clarity in the midst of that. So that's the hard part that's placed on a leader. So the one thing a leader has to do, they're required to lead clearly and move forward very intentionally with purpose, leading a culture around values. Those things are still required of leaders, even though we're in a time of instability. So it's much harder on leaders to do that because of the place that we're in now. So we've already talked about the last of these three, right? Which is this existence is finite. That's just going, hey, we're people, we're going to struggle. Just recognize that. Let's talk about these other two. We're entering an era of heightened uncertainty and instability. That is huge. So we just went through a hiring process where we had 3 people leave our company and we hired 5 to come in. And we're just navigating, helping them embrace our culture, our processes, our structure, and everybody's going to come from different perspectives. And of course, that's what makes us strong. But everybody will embrace and come into the ways in which we want to lead and grow differently, and that's okay. So the world is just it's just uncertain and unstable, right? Even as we grow our clients, we're kind of walking towards a recession. We're not officially in a recession yet, but over the next year, we're probably going to enter into a slight bit of a recession. It probably won't be as large as people think it is. But even now, we're starting to see a lot of companies struggle with some of their debt structure. The debt structures are high, so leaders are entering into more stressful places. They're needing to produce revenue from clients more specifically. So that's making things very difficult. And for a leader, one thing they need is to lead. They need to move forward very methodically and with intention and purpose. And it's hard to do that when you don't know where to go. You don't know what steps to take. So that's why there's a period of instability. Instability is really the uncertainty of knowing which decision to make. But companies still need that. The need for leadership and what leadership is has not changed at all. It still must be what it's always been. But in a world, a culture, generations of not knowing really where they feel comfortable anymore or how they want to change or what professions they want to truly stay in for the rest of their lives, the leaders have to lead through that instability. But the leaders are also unstable. They don't know. They don't have clarity. That's why it's tough to be a leader right now and why leaders may be struggling. And then the second one is leadership roles will be increasingly stressful as a result. And so we're already feeling that. We coach a lot of leaders, and so we see a lot of those leaders really be stressed, right? And a lot of the stress for them, we think, is they're dealing with the exact same things that their team are dealing with, which is, what do I want to do? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this forever? Is this the place I'm meant to be? Well, the leader's struggling with that. And so when a leader struggles with that, they're struggling with it at a perspective of, should this company exist or should the company not exist, or I'm ready to hang this up. These are all things we hear even in the past few weeks, people that are struggling with. Some are going, the whole company's wrong, I'm going to go in a whole different direction, right? So now they're just completely changing directions with a team that's also struggling. So this second point is that it's becoming more and more stressful. If a leader has to be clear and move forward with a very intentional purpose, and they're also struggling, that causes more stress on the leader, because then the team they don't know who to follow. They don't know if they should follow this leader that's also stressed and struggling. And then as a leader, of course, we're meant to produce revenue. Revenue is the lifeblood. That's cash. That's the lifeblood of a company. And so if a leader is struggling to do that, that's also highly stressful in an unstable economic environment right now. So, but one thing is true is that our economies have gone through this for eons, right? These are just patterns that have been going on forever. And so as the world is adjusting a little bit as to what it finds valuable, not only generally or culturally, but for each person is going, what is my value? What am I supposed to do in 5 years? What am I supposed to do in 10 years? As everybody's struggling, just know we're going to settle into this. We'll settle into what we're meant to do. A lot of us may make changes. Some of us are going to press forward, like me. I'm going to press forward. I'm going to keep going in my career, doing the same things I've been doing, because I already know it provides value, and this world needs the things that we do for people. So it's time to take a lot of those things to heart as you're struggling as a leader. It's a really weird time to be a leader, but also know that these are patterns our world has gone through for many, many eons, and we will settle into a lot of those things. So hang in there. That's my advice, and I hope that helps. Thanks for joining us on a Businessology lesson.